Good morning. So this weekend's project is something that anyone who has buildings on skids will have to deal with sooner or later. This is a 24 by 12 shed. It's been on the property for 20 years, give or take. And over time it has settled a bit. So we have to jack up the building and re-level it. It has settled down quite a bit in some areas. So my father-in-law went ahead and dug holes at all four corners underneath the skids, and we have some 50-ton house jacks. Let me go grab one of them. One's inside. We've already got this corner over here jacked up. You can see I can put my foot underneath where this ramp was. So this is a jack they picked up at a farm sale. Yeah, all you do is twist right here, lifts up, and for a building this size, it'll totally lift this whole thing up. We already started jacking this side up last night. It's not fun, but can be done. And if you have a building on skids like this, sooner or later you're going to have to do that. So let me get back in the hole, and we'll keep on jacking up, and I'll bring you along. You don't need to see me twisting the jack, but I'll bring you along as we're going. These can only lift so far. There's only so much thread, so we gotta bring it up in stages. We want to bring it above grade this time, and then under the ground, about 2 feet, there's a hard clay layer here. The soft ground on the top is very soft, but down 2 feet it's pretty hard. So we'll put block down and build up a new foundation for it, and it'll probably last another 20 years. So if you had to buy it brand new, they're probably expensive. But yeah, he picked them up at auction, and knowing my father-in-law, they probably weren't that expensive at the farm auction. They've had them for years and years and years, and they're heavy as sin. Yeah, they're cast iron. So we're going to work on, and like I said, I'll bring you in from time to time as we're going along. Okay, so here you can see we got one side jacked up, and on that hard clay layer at the bottom we have 2 solid concrete blocks, and then we found on the back we had some concrete like 8x8 blocks someone made up, and they've been sitting in the woods for a long time, so we put them to good use in the front. We got the one side up, and it's probably 6 or 8 inches higher than it was sitting on the ground. So we're getting ready to do the other side, and let me bring you over here. My father-in-law's moving the cribbing back. As we're working along, you have to crib and move the jack in order to get everything high enough. So we're moving the cribbing back, then we're going to dig this hole out. We'll remove the jack, dig the hole out further, put some solid blocks at the bottom, and a solid piece of 2x6 underneath the 6x6, so that we can move the jack forward and go from there. The front's the easier side, really, and the first post is the easiest because you don't have to worry so much about leveling. Right now we're almost exactly level across the front, so we have to bring it up, dig everything out, and then set it back down at about the same level. So I'll bring you back when we get to the next stage. Okay, so here you can see that jack in place and how we're doing it. So on the bottom there's actually 2 16-inch blocks below that concrete post in the back. So we have those down on a hard clay layer that's way down deep, and we've built other buildings on top of those like the pole barn, and we never had any shifting. So in order to jack it up, the top here, you see I have a piece of 2x8 pressure treated and we put that underneath the jack. We inched the jack as far forward as we could, and then put that concrete block in the back, so that you could, and I have this a little bit overexposed so you can see in the shadows, but here you can see how that post is sitting on the block in the back too. So now we just have to lower that jack, and we have a level across the floor in there, and right now we're dead on. So once we drop this down, it'll be level again, and the door should open and close without hitting, which is awesome. So we got two in the back to do. The first one's the easiest. As you go along, each one gets harder because you have to level in multiple directions. So we only have 2 jacks. If you had 4 jacks, it'd probably be easier, because you could bring the whole thing up and down. But yeah, you can, if you run it real low, you can see those skids run the length of the building. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get going again. Supposed to be 88 degrees today, so it'll be toasty. Okay, so the back proved to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of roots back here. So we spent half the day cutting roots out with the Sawzall in order to have access. Back here we put down, and it's hard to see because there's a sunspot right in the middle, but underneath, behind that jack, there's a 6x6 that goes onto an elephant foot concrete support. It's actually designed for a 4x4, but we're sitting on the whole top of it. And on top of that is a piece of 2x6. So that worked. We have this side done. We have one more side to do, and hopefully that side won't take as long. It's already in the right place. We just need to get elephant foot in place. But some things to, if you're doing a project like this, cribbing. Anytime we're working, we try to slide underneath the skid a piece of 2x6 or 4x4, and we spread it across the ground so that it distributes the weight as it's supporting the skid. So if we have to back off and raise the jack, we can back it off. It also provides a measure of safety. But that gap in between that back plate and the ground is new, and we're going to dig it out so that it actually has a bit more than that. Right now it's probably 3 or 4 inches, maybe 3, but we will expand it, and we're probably going to dig out the side underneath a little bit, and then try to get some gravel underneath this whole skid. Yeah, just so that it's not just supported on the ends. We'll get the gravel underneath, and then as everything settles, it should start to evenly distribute the weight again. We popped some shingles as we were tweaking the building a bit. We need to put a new roof on this, so it is what it is. Doing it with one person would be a really huge pain in the neck. These jacks, while they help, they're not, they require a bit of effort. So sometimes it's easier if you have 2 people to rotate them. I know they make hydraulic ones, and that would be easier if you have something to run them on, but this is what we got. So I'm going to work on the next one. Okay, last one's in place. We have one of those elephant feet. Underneath it we have a couple pieces of a solid concrete and a 10-inch section of pressure treated 6x6, and the building is off the ground and fairly level, within a 1/16 or so. So only tools other than a bunch of earth moving tools are those jacks and a level, and then time, and of course pick the hottest day of the year to do it on. So we're going to fill these holes in, and I'm going to get out of here, call it a day. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know if I'll be able to answer them. It's the only building we've ever leveled like this, at least after the fact. So I'll let you know next year if it's holding up. So until next time, thanks for watching.